What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into a Wednesday morning episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt, to follow me across all socials. This is the final podcast that we'll be doing from Boston, back tomorrow in Las Vegas, where we'll have everything back to normal, how things are supposed to be, and we'll get all the cool things, relevant reads, and all the fun stuff we need to do. This podcast is still being brought to you by omahasteaks.com. The pro code JUICE still works at checkout to save $30. More on them coming up later on, but use that code JUICE at omahasteaks.com. Okay, so obviously today is a little different. I'm taping this. It is 1 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday. Okay, so what we're going to do today is I'm going to give you guys 2 future bets. Later today, in the Discord channel, I will give you either a college basketball play or an NBA play for tonight. Indiana State plays against Evansville. I got to see the numbers. There's no one on the planet who has a number on this, but I got to see the number, tempo, team total. I'll probably have a play on that game, a couple of numbers I'm eyeballing for Indiana State. Evansville, I'm also taking a look just a little bit at that Memphis game up against the Spurs. There may be a couple of player props I like in that game. So I will have something extra here for you guys on Wednesday. I have no idea what the bets did on Tuesday because, well, the bets haven't even started yet on Tuesday. So this is a little bit of a different type of podcast because I'm about to get on a plane for 6.5 hours and I won't be able to do very much in terms of, well, podcasting, if you will. So I have to kind of do it like this. A lot of you have been wondering what was I going to add something to the college basketball portfolio. Today is the day, and today is the first day that I'm going to jump in with an NHL future bet as well coming up here for today. Okay, so let's start with college basketball, and I've been eyeballing this. I've been telling you guys I've been waiting to see when would I come in and take Arizona. They're currently the 4th best team for KenPom at the moment. Interesting numbers. You look at the strength of schedule for Arizona. They currently have the 13th toughest schedule so far here in the country. This is a team also in terms of opponents and their offensive adjusted opposing offenses. They've faced some really good ones. They have faced the 7th toughest schedule for offenses, and they faced the 37th toughest defensive schedule for them overall. So their non-conference schedule has been tremendous. 13th toughest non-conference schedule in college basketball. Arizona got worked against Stanford. I've been telling you guys, I've been waiting for a time to jump in with Arizona, and they have hit the skids. They've lost to Purdue, 92-84. They lost to Florida Atlantic in double overtime in Vegas, 96-95. They lost to Stanford in stunning fashion, 100-82. And I think we now have value on Arizona to win the national championship at 11-1. FanDuel has this at 11-1, and we're going to jump in and take it. Why? Because from here on out, for the rest of the year, Arizona is favored to win out at KenPom. Now, will they? No. But we're talking about Colorado, Utah, Washington State, USC, Oregon State, UCLA, Cal, Stanford, Utah, Colorado, Arizona State. These are all double-digit projected wins, most of them. They're predicted to win by, 9 against Colorado on Thursday, against 9 against Utah, 8 against Washington State, 15 against USC, 16 against UCLA, 18 against Oregon State, 6 against Oregon, 30, 25 against Cal, 15 against Stanford. Utah, on February the 8th, is the next time they're going to be expected to have a tight game on the road at Utah. They're picked to win by 2. Against Colorado on the road, they're picked to win by 3, okay? So, I mean, we're talking about large numbers here, nearly double-digit numbers on KenPom for the rest of the year, all the way into March, all the way through the end of the regular season. Arizona's expected to win out, okay? So they've lost 3 of 5. Their seeding has been hurt. People are questioning them. This is the perfect time to jump in here with an 11-1, 1-unit jump in with Arizona to win the national championship. It goes with the Creighton Blue Jays, who have moved. I have 30-1. It's moved to 21-1. I don't think the Jays are winning the national championship, but again, let's see what they look like later in the year. They've hit the skids too, but their number hasn't come better than what we have right now. So that's good at 30-1. We're still sitting pretty good. And then 20-1 with Marquette. Marquette has looked good at times. I think we're right. As we turn into conference play, this is where teams start to build up and get going. The bottom half of the Big East is not great. The bottom, or really the whole Pac-12, is not good for this season. Arizona should win that regular season championship relatively easily. They'll have some push from Oregon and Utah and Colorado probably, but really Arizona is the best team. They should go into the dance with a 1, 2, or 3 seed, okay? Yes, they've lost 3 games. They lost to Purdue, they lost to FAU, and they lost to Stanford. 1 true road game, 1 neutral site, and 1 game that was quasi-road. I'm not worried about this, okay? I like Arizona a lot. I like their experience come the NCAA tournament. Seeding and what path they take will definitely matter, but I like that value at 11-1 right now. I don't know how much higher it gets at FanDuel, maybe a couple, maybe 12, 13, but I doubt that it gets much higher. I only think it's going to go down given what they're going to do here with the regular season in the Pac-12. 1 unit, 11-1. FanDuel has it. Let's take Arizona to win the national championship to keep building the portfolio out here with a 30-1, a 20-1, and now an 11-1 ticket here for us. We'll have 1 or 2 more before we get rolling here, trying to get ourselves into a situation where we can just be profitable in cash, hopefully a big ticket or 2, but we can hedge off of it. Speaking of hedging, by the way, I went and looked at this. I thought I bet the Ravens to win the Super Bowl. It's not what we bet. We bet the Ravens to win the AFC. That's even better. Because depends on who they play, we may not hedge. We may just let that ride, okay? 11-1 to win the AFC. So if they get to the AFC, all they got to do is they have the 1 seed, okay? So they have a bye. They win 1 game, the divisional round game, and they're in the AFC championship game. That's all we need the Ravens to do is win 1 game, and then that ticket is going to cash. Now, that's 11-1. So that's pretty decent, and we should be able to make some noise off that, and at very least, bet 3 or 4 units on the other side to guarantee profit on the Baltimore Ravens. So that's looking way better. I thought to win it all, I was like, man, that's going to be kind of tight. Nope. This is to win the AFC. 1 playoff win in the next, they'll hopefully lose to the Steelers. I would like to see Pittsburgh in. It'd be fun. It'd be a fun story to see Rudolph take that team to the playoffs. But if Pittsburgh gets in, they got to win on Saturday. So, that's an auto fire. We may need to bet that tomorrow because of the number may run on us depending on what the Ravens do, who they're going to play. But I think the Steelers win that game. And then the Steelers will wind up waiting and see on Sunday. But then we have a chance, we cashed the over 8.5 on the team total win for the Steelers. But we have 1 win. Ravens will play nobody, bye week, divisional game. They win that divisional game. They're in the AFC championship game. They're in the AFC title game. And then we can either hedge off of it or just let it ride. And that's an 11-1 ticket. So we bet the other side, depending on who they play, could be a decent plus money on the other side. We bet 1 unit to win a couple, and we're guaranteed to make a decent profit there. So stay tuned on the Ravens' future. For us, it's to win the AFC, not to win the Super Bowl, which made me very happy when I went and looked at that number. I was like, oh, that's great. That was a good bet by me. Different play than just to win it all, just to win the AFC for the Ravens. Okay, other bet that I want to give you guys here. And again, in the Discord channel, bettingpros.com/chat. At some point in Wednesday, I will come in. I will give you either a college basketball or NBA player prop play for the games happening today. So stay tuned. I'll have something in play for sure on Wednesday, but future time. Let's talk about the Vancouver Canucks. You can shop this, okay? You can shop around to find the best price. DraftKings has them at 22-1 to win the Stanley Cup. And you're going to go, Matt, this is a Canadian team. Are you sure? FanDuel has them at 27-1. 27-1 got my attention. I went, okay, it's over 25-1 for the Vancouver Canucks. Let's talk about this for a second. So Vancouver is currently leading the Pacific Division. Vancouver is 23-10-3. They have 49 points. They're tied with the Vegas Golden Knights, and they have more points than the LA Kings. The LA Kings are still we may take a look at taking a flyer at the LA Kings as well. But for right now, I'm looking at Vancouver because the LA Kings, they're 12-1. They're 12-1. They're trailing Vancouver. Vancouver's 27-1 versus 12-1. Yet they're behind them. At home, Vancouver is 13-4-1. On the road, they're 10-6-2. They have a plus 43 goals against average, and they have won 7 of their last 10 games. They're 7-1-2 over their last 10 games. And yet they are this far behind. And you may say, well, Matt, if they, look at the Pacific, they got to be better than the Golden Knights. They got to be better than the Kings. And that's not guaranteed because, the overall playoff structure there, it's not going to be easy for them to just run through things. But as of right now, Vancouver would be the number 1 seed in the Pacific. So they play one of the wildcard teams. And you would say, okay, Nashville, Arizona, either team really, really scare you? I mean, not really. Now, they could very well have to play the Golden Knights or they could play the Kings if they were the 2 or the 3 in the division. But Colorado and Vancouver right now occupy the 1 and the 2. Vancouver, goaltending-wise, people are saying they're not going to keep this up. I don't know. We have bet a lot here on Vancouver early in the year. And their goaltender, Thatcher Demko, has been outstanding. 17-7-1 with a 2.46 goals against average. Casey DeSmith is 6-3 with a 2.58 goals against average. And you might say, well, if either one of those guys gets hurt, that could be problematic. Well, for anybody, it could be problematic. JT Miller has been absolutely tremendous with 48 points so far for them. Quinn Hughes has been great with 45 points. They've got a couple of lines that you have to respect, and you have to go, okay, why is everyone so far back? They're not buying it. It's 23-10-3. They're just not buying it. They think they're not better than the Golden Knights, they're not better than Colorado, and they're not better than the Kings. And they might not be, but could they make the Western Conference Finals? That's going to be the question. And when you have goaltending like they have right now, and if you have the home ice record that they have right now, I don't know, man. 13-4-1 is 13-4-1. Golden Knights are 13-3-2. Colorado is 15-4. Are we all of a sudden saying that Vancouver is twice? They're not even, near that value. I mean, the Golden Knights are 11-1. The Kings are 12-1. Just gave you the stats and the numbers. Vancouver is 27-1. They're way back. Again, we don't need them to do a ton here. And if you want to talk about just winning the Western Conference, if you don't want to do the win it all, you want to win the Western Conference, it's 13-1. If they get in, much like the Ravens bet I just told you about, if they get in, well, them being in, you can hedge off of it and guarantee yourself profit. Just got to make the Western Conference Finals, which I get could be really difficult to do, but maybe not. Okay, and again, at 27-1, we only needed to make the Western Conference Finals, and you can hedge of that as well. It makes it even a bigger number to hedge for them to win it all. It's possible. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. These are not predictions as much as they are looking at value and saying the Vancouver Canucks at 27-1, currently leading the Pacific Division, knowing who, yes, Edmonton could play really well the second half of the year. Yes, it could just be a hot start for the Vancouver Canucks, and that's it, and they could fall on their face from here on out. But again, the goaltending is the reason why I'm going to say that's simply not the truth, that it's not going to go away. This is not a team that's been scoring a ton and not having a lot of goaltending or great goaltending. Casey DeSmith's 27 years old. Thatcher Demko's 35. Or sorry, he's 28 rather. He has a chance to, number 35. He's 28, having a chance to do some big things in the prime of his career. He's 12-3 at home with a 2.17 goals against average. He's been tremendous. On the road, he's 5-4 with a 2.90 goals against average. But in the month of December, he was great. 6-1 with a 2.98 goals against average. We're heading into this, pre-All-Star wise with a 2.46 goals against average. He's 17-7-1 on the year, and yet they're 27-1. 27-1. I'm taking it. Value play. Vancouver to win the Stanley Cup. 1 unit at 27-1 on the Canucks to win it all. Okay, so 2 bets for us here going at the moment. We are taking the Vancouver Canucks at 27-1 to win the Stanley Cup, and we're taking Arizona coming in at 11-1 to win the national championship in college basketball. Couple of extra futures to come in. Again, I will give you plays for today. A college basketball bet in the Discord channel for Wednesday, bettingpros.com/chat for that. If not a college basketball play, an NBA player prop, or maybe even both that I'll give you guys coming up here later this morning on a Wednesday, as I will be back in Las Vegas to be able to do that with you guys. Thank you for bearing with me here during this vacation and holiday time. We are back to our normal schedule in our normal place of recording and taping the podcast and posting schedule and everything else coming up for Thursday. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast is being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.